Politicians have been warned against making offensive comments and the use of harsh words during their campaigns. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 1, Tambari Yabo, was speaking during a meeting with politicians from Kano, Katsina and Jigawa states, all in the northern part of the country. He also told politicians to stay away from any act capable of nullifying the polls. In a reaction, representatives of the political parties at the meeting asked the police to be non-partisan in their role as law enforcement agents.
Any person who goes for any electoral meeting, for any political meeting, procession or rally, and decides to take those arms, and is arrested by the police and is taken to the court, such a person is liable to what? 2 million naira as fine or imprisonment for 2 years or both. When you go for political campaigns, the law prohibits use of tainted languages that are abusive in nature. It's capable of inciting disturbance and matter. The country must move forward. It cannot afford to be lagging behind, because once you have destruction of lives, you lost your son, you lost your brother, you will never forget about that election.
Now, a wave of attacks on journalists seems to be finding its way into Nigeria as soldiers driving this truck, the one you're about to see on your screen, if we do have that, and other trailers conveying armored tanks out of Lagos were caught by eyewitnesses beating up a member of staff of Channels Television here in Lagos. This act was carried out by soldiers in one of the trucks with registered plate number for the Nigerian Army, AHQST 01301PS, as bystanders captured this video almost after the terrible act. 3 staff of Channels Television were subjected to the horrific treatment, with one of them, a female camera person, badly beaten up. Channels Television strongly kicks against this manner of attack and plans to petition the Chief of Army Staff over this particular unfortunate incident. Meanwhile, the Army authorities have promised to conduct an investigation into the assault on Channels Television's crew by soldiers earlier today. An official of the Army Public Relations Unit, Lieutenant Akubo, via telephone, offered his sympathies to the staff manhandled by the soldiers. He gave the assurance that the offending soldiers would be traced, and after questioning details of their vehicle the armed men were traveling in. Now, according to him, the Army Transportation's Identity Unit will facilitate the tracing of the soldiers' movement in order to confirm who they are, and if found culpable, they will be made to face discipline. We're going to move on from that unfortunate story and head back to some politics, where the All Progressive Congress converged on Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, as party members, supporters and sympathizers, or people who were happy for the APC, thronged the Moshood Abiola Stadium to canvass support for General Muhammadu Buhari. Our correspondent, Olu Phillips, reports.
Comparable perhaps only to the inaugural meeting to kickstart the campaign officially, today's APC's presidential rally in Abeokuta witnessed a large turnout of chieftains, supporters, and guests. The momentum grew as the event progressed, especially when a former governor and national leader was introduced.
Tinubu Jagaban!
Have a period of their own challenges. When America was challenged, they turned to one great man, their ex-military general, General Eisenhower. Correct? When French was challenged, they turned to their general, Charles de Gaulle. Correct? When Britain was challenged, they turned to their great general, Winston Churchill. Correct? Today, Nigeria is challenged, economically challenged, physically challenged, security challenged. Who do we turn to?
One point resonated across the speakers, and that's the need for party members to go get their permanent voters card.
Vote of February 14 is the critical vote.
I'm sure from around maybe 1 year, we will have a new president-elect for this country.
Unlike previous appearances, the presidential candidate and his vice attended today's rally with their wives.
Our main problem is a vicious circle of insecurity, lack of job, and corruption. The APC is determined to break this vicious circle.
The countdown to February 14 presidential election is on, and for the opposition, nothing short of a change of guard at the presidency will fulfill their desires. So, the rally continues. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Now, just hours after the president and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, the leadership of the All Progressives Congress and its presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, have met with the elder statesman. While the APC candidate asked for support of his former boss, despite his party affiliation, the former president called for issue-based campaigns as the progress of the nation is his primary concern. The APC team was led by the national chairman of the party, Chief John Oyegun, Senator Bola Tinubu, and the vice presidential candidate, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, amongst others.
We are not going to be inflexible the way some people accuse of being it. It's going to be dynamic as we go along. And as I said, we are here to seek for your understanding, sir, for your support in spite of the political card you hold. Thank you very much.
You have kindly underlined what I want everybody to remember, that I am a card-carrying member of another political party. But I have always also said that party or no party, what is paramount for me is Nigeria. And that will remain paramount as far as I'm concerned. There's no party, political party in the world that is made up of saints. And our own political parties in Nigeria will be no exception. I hope people will face issues rather than trivialities. Issues are very important. But what matters is that when that party has to go into government, it must look for men and women of character. And we have them. We have them in all parties.
Former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo More politics now, as President Goodluck Jonathan says one key issue his administration will focus on if re-elected is the creation of 2 million jobs for the youths. The president believes this will enhance human development and make life easier. Other party leaders who also spoke at the People's Democratic Party's presidential campaign in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, says the PDP is the only party that will build on the current record of success.
Man who has what it takes, who understands the complexities of running a modern country, the man who can run the economy of a country like Nigeria, which is the biggest economy in Africa, must be the Pt.2 Jonathan.
Mr. President has successfully put education in Nigeria as the main vein for our development. This is the first government in Africa that within a period of 3 to 4 years will build 12 brand new universities, and they are all functioning today, and we will have our youth in those universities.
We create job opportunities for young people. We have the presidential job board, headed by the vice president, made up of government officials and the private sector. And our commitment is that we must provide at least 2 million jobs every year. Because from my estimates, about 1.8 million Nigerians enter the labor market every year. So if we're able to create 2 million jobs every year, within a period of 4 or 5 years, we are able to absorb all young Nigerians that are technically qualified. And the issue of unemployment will be drastically reduced. For us, this great nation, these elections, the vote this time is for two. Either you vote to be free citizens or you vote to be imprisoned citizens.
The Senate President, David Mark, has given the assurance that the Senate would pass the Petroleum Industry Bill before the end of the 7th Assembly. Addressing federal lawmakers at the resumption of plenary, Senator Mark explained that the Senate is conscious of the concerns over the non-passage of the PIB, but he said when passed it will have profound impact on the future direction of the economy. Our correspondent Linda Akigbe reports.
It's the first plenary session for the year. Senate President David Mark welcomes lawmakers back to work after the holiday.
Please take your seats.
He then reads his welcome speech to lawmakers, where he detailed areas which the Senate would be giving priority attention to before the end of the 7th Assembly. He named one of such areas as the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB.
We have a loaded agenda before the 7th Assembly, and there are many issues to be addressed before the termination of our tenure. These include passing the Petroleum Industry Bill, the phenomenal fall in oil prices and its impact on our budgetary commitments, ensuring a free, fair, transparent, and credible election, favorably resolving the insurgency in the Northeast, the consideration of the reports of the Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly on the amendment of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Senator Mark also expressed concern about the worsening security situation in the Northeast, saying the region is under siege. Last week, many Nigerians were killed in Baga, Borno State, northeast Nigeria. But there has been no official confirmation of the exact number of people killed by Boko Haram in Baga. And just like the abduction of a Chibok schoolgirls, the killings in Baga has again attracted worldwide attention, with hashtags on social media drawing attention to the Baga massacre.
We must support our armed forces and other security operatives to stop this evil.
Speaking to journalists after plenary, some federal lawmakers shared the same optimism expressed by the Senate President that the PIB would be passed before the end of this assembly.
But I assure you that we'll do our best to look at the PIB bill and see what we can. But I'm sure it cannot take place before the election. it should be after the election, but before the end of the Senate.
What is of immediate concern to the Senate and the National Assembly is the passage of the 2015 budget. Now, in the face of declining oil prices, which has led to further adjustment to the MTF, the National Assembly would have to agree on the benchmark price of crude, which will take into cognizance the present realities in the oil markets. Nevertheless, the Senate President has assured that the 2015 budget will be passed by the Senate in good time. From the National Assembly, Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, Agriculture Minister denies missing funds. That's on Business News. To join us again.